Hi ladies, thank you so much for tuning in. Now today's episode is going to be different than the usual episodes because I'm just coming here today to share my testimony. The episode is going to be in two parts. The first part is going to be my testimony of how I came to the Lord, and the second part is going to be about my singleness journey. I want to talk about my university journey because y'all know about you all know about my university and all the struggles and everything I went through. I usually talk about that on the videos here on Sister's Corner and also on the articles that are posted online. So what I'm going to be doing, like I said, is just to share my testimony. And it goes right along with what Revelation says, that they overcame by the power of the blood and also by the power of the testimony. So my prayer is that you will be blessed and by listening to the testimonies that I have to share with you today. So I grew up in a Christian household, and I say Christian quote unquote because we were Christian in the sort that we knew who God was, we knew that Jesus Christ was his son, but there was no personal relationship with God. So I remember I never actually went to Sunday school or church. I mean, the few times I went to church was either because it was Easter or Christmas, or because I knew that some of my friends would be there. So I prayed before eating, and I also prayed before going to bed. But there was no personal relationship with Christ. No, that goes along with my entire family. My mother is a great woman, but when we were growing up, she was the type of woman that when she gets really upset or mad or angry, oh my goodness, it's an explosion right there. You have to just leave the house because she was just, oh my goodness, a mess. So that's what we grew up with. And the reason why I talk about my mother, because she was, I would say she actually paved the way to me becoming a born-again believer. So I'm from the Republic of Congo. When I was about 10 years old, we moved. Republic of Congo is a French-speaking country. So when we moved, my family and I moved to Kenya, an English-speaking country, we were completely lost in translation. So my mother felt really alone because she didn't really have many people to talk to. So one day she came out of the grocery store, and right across from the street there was this big sign about this church, a French-speaking church. So she came back home. She was so excited. She's like, oh, I found this church. It's a French-speaking church. We should all go to church on Sunday. My siblings and I were like, we never used to go to church back home. I don't know why we should be going to church now. So she would go to church alone, and she was so happy to find people that, you know, she could speak French with and that she could fellowship with. And little by little, she was just being such a regular attendee at church. She was reading the Bible more often. She was calling us from some corporate prayers. I was like, this girl must be out of her mind, because we never used to do that back home. So she was doing a lot of things. She started to fast, she started to give, she started getting rid of her secular music. I was like, this lady is going crazy. So there was a lot of change, and the greatest change was when my mom would get angry. The house did not feel like a danger zone anymore. She was peaceful, she was joyful, she was just, she would just brighten up the house. And I would look at her, you know, I was like, what happened to this woman that we know from back home? And she used to be so angry and mad, and now she's just nice, peaceful, and quiet. And I admired that, because I think around that time I was in my early teens. Like I was 12 going on 13. It was a lot of peer pressure. When you're hitting the teenage years, it's a lot of pressure. It's like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I hated myself, a lot of body image, peer pressure, like I said. So a lot of things were going on that I just hated myself. And I would look at my mother and I'm like, I want that. But I wasn't willing to take on her Jesus. I was fine with just having the change, but I didn't want to become Christian. I didn't want to become born again, because what teenager goes to school and say, oh, I'm born again? Sounds like this ain't for me. So after that, we moved to West Africa, and again, I'm just looking at my mom being transformed, being changed, and it was so amazing. After my 14th birthday, around that time, we were in school finished. Summertime came, so we were out of school, and my mom was like, oh, she told my sisters and I, it's like, you girls are just spending the summer not really doing anything. What about if I would call one of our family friends to come and teach you about the Bible? Now, our family friend was a pastor, so we're like, okay, we don't have anything to do, so let's do it. So the family friend came and taught us about the Bible. We did Bible studies, and throughout the time, I was like, oh, boring. Okay, we just have to do this. So all the time he was talking about God and everything, I was just like, I hear you, I hear you. However, the last session, the very last session, I don't know what happened. I decided to pay attention to what he was saying. And throughout the previous session, I wasn't listening to what he was saying. I wasn't really paying attention. But at one last session, he started to talk about the transforming work of Christ, and how if we allow Jesus to come into our heart, he will change us, he will transform us, but we just have to start by trusting him. And right at that moment, in my heart, I was just like, I've been battling for all these years about what I want, what I don't want, the peer pressure, everything, and I have enjoyed seeing my mom being transformed. I want God to change me the way that he changed my mom. Okay, God, I don't care about what my friends will say, but I want that. So when he was talking, in my heart, I was just like, okay, it's enough, Chrissy. You have battled, you have wrestled with God for way too long. It's time to just give in. So right after the session was over, I told him, I'm ready to give my life to Christ. I want to get baptized. So a few days after I was baptized, so I came to the Lord when I was 14, and right at that time, I was just, I think I was in awe, because I was just like, okay, I'm baptized and I'm born again, I'm a new creature. I'm excited to see what God has to do in my life. I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm willing to trust God, to give it all and just follow him. And lo and behold, as the months passed by, my friends, when they discovered, when I told them that I became born again, yes, they were definitely like, what? Girl, you are born what? So I did lose my friends, to be literal, all of my friends, because now the lifestyle was different. It's not like I was doing really bad stuff, before I became born again, but it's just, the conversations became different. It's no longer about the gossip. It's no longer about, going here, going there. Everything just changed, and so it was just like we're no longer really on the same path. So that really hurt me when I became born again, because I was like, God, I thought that becoming born again would be something positive. Yes, positive things have happened, but I didn't want to lose my friends. But at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But so God has blessed me over the years. After that experience, over the years, I have gained new friends. So so that's actually how I became born again. So